What is up, guys? This is Baka, and I'm back with a new insane story for you all. For now, there are going to be two parts, but if you prefer reading more, you can read the same story on my Instagram. Also, if you guys demand, I surely will bring more parts of this. So I hope you enjoy the video and let's get started. This story is based on me, so it will be horror but with some funky elements. So, the story's name is The Dream That Haunted Me. It is about 5 nights that made me feel cursed. This story is when I was just 10 to 11-year-old kid back then with a creative imagination. 1st July 2017. It was a regular, nice, wonderful day for me. But who knew that night wasn't gonna be so normal later? I had just shifted to my new house a month ago. It was a bigger one than the last one, so I got a room for myself. To be honest, I was pretty excited about it at first. But a new place doesn't give you a cozy vibe then and there. It takes time. So you can understand how non-soothing environment I could be in. Anyways, I got my own room, a study table, a cupboard, and a single-size bed. Back then, I used to have a lot of dreams. Well, I dreamed almost every day. Weird, right? But those were that funky types as I was just a kiddo. That day in the evening, I watched a horror movie with that typical haunted mansion scene. Coincidentally, this was the night which was gonna be my first time. This was the night which was gonna be my first time when I would be sleeping alone in my room, and also had a pretty bad feeling that I was gonna fall for sure while sleeping. This coincidence of thoughts sure did suck. My parents went into their room and I switched my room's light off and went to sleep. My eyes fell on my table with books on it, but for some reason it was looking spooky. Some more things like the chair made me feel like someone was sitting there, and also the mirror. It was too scary. So I hurriedly slipped inside my blanket and closed my eyes to try sleeping as fast as I could. That night after I was asleep, I started dreaming of some cartoon, and the main character was obviously me. It was a happy place where I was roaming around freely without any interruptions. When suddenly I saw a crazy big luxurious mansion that was beautifully decorated and had a rich feeling to it. Well, of course, I was gonna go see and explore it for myself. I took a step ahead and bang! Everything disappeared. I woke up in the middle of the pleasant dream that I was having. Well, there is a catch to it. I opened my eyes looking at the floor with a tedious pain on my forehead. Yeah, you guessed it right. I did fall from my bed. It took me a moment or two to just realize what the heck had just happened. It was midnight and I did not tell what happened last night to my parents because it was embarrassing. When I went back to sleep and somehow it was peaceful, woke with a headache and a red bob on my forehead. But I was fine later on, so wasn't a problem. After spending the whole day, I was totally worn out. I decided to go to bed early that day, but that night was pretty shocking to me, as after a few moments of sleep, I started dreaming again. The same dream. In fact, continuing exactly where I had stopped last time. I was facing the mansion, but there was a noticeable difference. I was standing in the middle of nowhere. All the streets, houses, and everything was gone. Standing on a broad road leading directly into the mansion. The looks of a beautiful mansion were turned into a haunted castle. It was closed all around with pointy fences and a metal gate in front with bats hovering over it. The castle had a weird and spooky aura to it, which was continuously creeping me out. I looked back and saw the broad road going to infinity, and on both sides was void. Thus I had only one way to go, towards the mansion. I took a step ahead and bam! It started lightning, and I heard a quivering sound as if something behind me was hit by that lightning and was breaking. But because of that lightning, I woke up and was awake but in shock. The next whole day, the thought of suspense of knowing what happened behind me with that lightning was disturbing me. I was too keen to just avoid it.
The next morning.
The next day, when I went to bed, I started thinking about the same, and doing so, it was obvious that I will dream about something similar. But just before I was about to sleep, for some reason, I had a feeling. I started feeling nauseous, and further started feeling creeped out. Probably a little panic attack, but without any reason. Well, I had a bad feeling this wasn't a good sign for tonight. I heard a loud lightning, and then a quake sound. I turned around and saw that the road was breaking and the smog of dark matter was covering all the debris. I saw the metal gate straight ahead and made a run for it. I dived in through the gate. Apparently, unlike all the ghost movies, the gate was still open, and I could always walk out of there whenever I wanted to. At least that's what I thought. I was taking deep breaths standing there. Then I tried going back. I was at the gate, and there was nowhere to go. The road was all gone, nowhere in existence to be found, and all around was filled with that creepy dark smog which covered the boundaries of the castle. It spun my head because all I could see was an infinitely long void. And I kinda have acrophobia. Wasn't a pleasant experience looking down, I guess. I heard an ear booming sonic sound, and all the bats went over me, and some flapping their wings hard on my face. It was getting darker with every step I took into the castle. I felt as if someone was staring at me from the top of the mansion with red eyes, so I started rushing to the other side and reached the backyard. Half of the backyard was filled with graves, and the other half was filled with bushes of grapes and barrels. I don't know what obsession do all these ghosts have with all the wine stuff. Again, instinctively, I saw someone staring again from the window, but it was a lot chubbier but a smaller shadow. Yet it was so freaky that I thought of going over the fences to find a way out. When I was climbing over it to the other side, I saw down. There was a slim ledge on which I had my one foot stayed on, and there was no space for the other one. And ahead of that was a dark purplish void. So yeah, we can say I was on a floating castle right now, with nowhere to escape to. Then I heard some thumping footsteps, and just then something came from the back and pushed me towards those fences, and I was dead right there at the very moment. Three of the fences pierced me, and a fall of blood started dripping all over. One in my head, second one in my chest, piercing right through my heart, and the third in my stomach. I was crying out of pain, but slowly I started losing consciousness. With my blurry vision and me facing down, I couldn't see who pushed me, but I saw a big paw with long nails and white brown fur on them, like of some animal. Normally, I should be awake now because of the dream's pain or shock. But this time, it was different. I felt like I woke up, so I knew I was dreaming that time. But I wasn't out of the dream exactly. It continued in my mind. I was laying down, blood dripping off me, and a huge paw grabbing my whole body over. It picked me up and smashed me down on the dried grass. It was trying to crush me with its paws. Its face was like some of a wolf, but with humanly eyes and body. I could not move either in real or in the dream. I was so terrified that I started crying as I was in my half consciousness and could feel that fear for real. I snapped out of it in 3 4 minutes, but that was so terrifying I could feel myself paranormally creeping out. It was my first experience of sleep paralysis. It's way creepier than it sounds. I did not know about this, so it was even more terrifying to me. I can't even explain how terrified I was. It was almost morning, so did not sleep after that. And then the whole day went in tension and awkwardness for me. I did not want to experience that again, but what could I do? Yet I decided to face it without any fear, if it happened again, that is. I was a kid though, so this plan was not gonna happen anyways. I had a feeling that it was not going to repeat, as I was dead in the dream. So hope that today will be some change. This thought did provide me with some changes tonight. I felt as if finally I was free from the horror stuff. I was dreaming of luxurious life, driving a Lambo, and just had bought a new bungalow in the center of the town. Now it was time for me to explore what luxuries it had packed for me. It was a three-story bungalow with a big basement too. Second floor was filled with video game and indoor sports. The first one had all the food, TV, and regular kind of stuff. The ground floor had a big garage and a massive hallway. To the corner, it had a stairway going down. I went down and could hear some strange echoing sound. It was coming from a room that was at the corner. I entered the room with another door on the other side to exit that room. That second door was all rusty as if it was a medieval iron door. So it took me a crowbar to force open it. I decided to check out what was on the other side. But when I opened the door, I found myself in a very old but prestigious wooden room. A rush of breeze blew up and the rusty door ended up getting jammed close. I was worried now, cause when I tried to open it, it won't budge. I couldn't get the crowbar on the other side, so I had to find something like a crowbar to break open it again. When I took a exit from the room, I saw someone loudly shout at me who was wearing a black cloak with a blob stomach and scars all over his face and body. He rushed for me with an axe like thing in his hand. There were stairs to go to the hall down there, and in front of the stairs was the exit to the house. I went out and weirdly felt knowing that place, as if I had been there before. I looked around, and alas, I was standing in front of the haunted mansion. All the terrific memories rushed through me, and then, well, guys, here the part 1 ends. Hope you liked it, and comment down how was the ending. By the way, I did got your attention, didn't I? Well, keep that suspense in you till the next Friday for the second part. Also, don't forget to pretty please like the video, subscribe and share it. Well, see you guys in the next one. Sayonara.